And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Lost Podcast of Titan, a father and son journey through the sci-fi series that unite our generations as we provide live commentary and, you know, we 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 read some books. We understand theory.
We've been around.
That's right.
We
The deeper meaning of the three-titted girl in Total
we paid our
Recall.
dues.
That's right.
Yes,
But
we've had to go back and make repeated viewings of Total Recall just to make sure we got every nuance of the
the
three girl.
three-titted girl, every nuance of Sharon Stone, the deep meaning.
Deep meaning.
I never really liked the three-titted girl, to be quite honest. Stuff. I'm gonna have to be like,
It,
I understand it was supposed to be, quote unquote, titillating, ha ha ha, but it didn't do anything for me.
it was shock value. As an example of just how bad things had gone on Mars, yeah, that was effective. But anything else, no.
Yeah. Oh well. Uh, but yeah. So today, boys and girls, we were watching Star Trek: The Original Series, and we do plan to continue on with that journey. But we decided to have a little break and give you a little treat. And today we are actually going to watch a movie. It is actually going to be Mad Max, the original Mad Max. When did this come out? Let's see.
1979.
Yes, with Mel Gibson before his anti-Semitic troubles.
Back when you could walk up to Mel Gibson and say hi to him like a normal person.
That's right. Back at the burgeoning Australia scene. Because it released in Australia, then it came here. It was a cult hit in the 80s, I think.
Yes, it wasn't until this wasn't really the breakout film for Mel Gibson. That wouldn't happen until the next film in the series, Mad Max 2, or as it was known over here, The Road Warrior. And then people sat up and took attention. But
Yeah,
this
had
is
the
considered
Ayatollah of rock and roll. You gotta pay attention.
Oh yeah, great costume design.
Jesus.
Oh, one hallmark of George Miller is fantastic costume designs.
Well, I mean, it brought to the idea. We sometimes have with our friends. If the world ever ends, what are you going to do? And he hit the vein of sometimes, I just want to wear a leather pimp daddy outfit, go into the desert, and become the Ayatollah of rock and roll. I mean, sometimes
I'd
that's
be
what you got to be.
Guy in the Road Warrior, the one with the glasses, the idiot who ended up getting his fingers chopped off.
Let's see, who would I?
With the glasses.
To be honest, I'd probably be the dude who tried to escape and got captured and was like crucified because I was smart enough to try and get out of the situation, but not good enough to actually escape.
Oh, I was under the impression that we may have to do that film sometime soon. I was under the impression he was part of a scouting expedition trying to find a rig to halt that fat tanker of gas.
It's possible.
Oh, blow it up! Don't hit it!
Don't spoil the movie.
Oh, spoilers! Wow. Yeah. A lot of people know that Batman is Bruce Wayne, right?
Oh, Lord. Okay, so if y'all want to pull up Mad Max, just like straight up Mad Max, not Fury Road, not Road Warrior, not Beyond Thunderdome, straight up Mad Max on your favorite streaming or physical media device, go ahead and pause this and go to the 00 mark. And welcome back. We'll go ahead and get the show started in 3, 2, 1, play. And we got Cecil the Lion here.
Really? His name is Cecil? I never knew that.
I think he actually did have a name. I don't know if it was Cecil, but I'm fairly certain he had a name. American International. That's bullshit. It's Australian.
Australian International.
We're coming for your women. Wait, who the fuck is Kennedy Miller?
It's Kennedy/Miller Productions.
Oh, I was about to say, wait a minute.
Now these are nice, lean opening credits.
Well, yeah, they had to pay them in Australian dollar dues. They couldn't afford much. They had to make do.
But it works. And Brian May's soundtrack. See, there's your Kennedy, Brian Kennedy, and your director, George Miller.
Like the only director I know of who made a movie, sent it to the studio for review, and was actually given the movie back with another like dozen or so $1 million, 10 or 20 million to make it better.
Actually, if you're trying to promote civic harmony and all that, you really shouldn't be naming your streets like Anarchy Road.
This is Australia.
Yeah.
Also, I do appreciate this aspect of at least this film of Mad Max. Is the other movies are done after the fall of mankind, but this is in that the stretch just before where it's not instant. There wasn't a giant war and suddenly it was a light switch, everything turned off. It was this slow, creeping, grinding. Things just kept getting continually worse. And I cannot for the life of me think of another film that does that.
This is depicting a society just hanging on its last thread.
Yeah. Like, these are the cops. These are the good guys.
Yeah. We're in trouble already.
Yes.
Professional police officers.
Yeah, this is supposed to be satire, too. Like,
very subtle satire.
Yes. Wait, what the fuck is he wiping in his hand? Oh, degreaser. Okay, degreaser.
Yeah.
Degreaser. Okay. I work on cars a lot, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a real engine head.
Really?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Why, Papa? Every Saturday morning you can find me.
Speaking of science fiction.
Oh, it's the Knight Rider.
The Knight Rider.
So okay, see, this is Australia. You have the Knight Rider or the Toe Cutter. So someone wasn't drunk when they made their cool criminal name. They're really going fast. Holy shit. Don't do it.
Well, he hit the sign. He got it. Oh, and he got that sign too. They're 2 for 2 so far.
Yeah. And this is like, it's gotten to the point where they're shooting at criminals on the road. And I want to say, oh man, look at the fall of society that we've reached at this point. But no, we've gotten to this point. It's just that, gas isn't that big of a problem at the moment.
Apparently not. If they're hauling around. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
This is the shit's gonna come down now. This is how you set this up.
Yeah, because he has to, degrease his hands and put on the gloves.
Yes, that's right, and the glasses.
See, maybe he should have been driving.
Whoa.
Yes, you do. This is Australia.
Okay. Headlines in the next few weeks: relationships between the United States and Australia collapse due to podcast.
FEMA. Oh, Jesus. Well, see, actually, we have to have listeners in Australia first.
Yes.
Well, actually, I haven't checked that lately. I need to check that.
Can you check the source of where people are watching us from?
That's how I know you watch the video, the podcast. It's, little listen download from bumfuck nowhere, Texas. I'm like, oh, hey, Papa, listen to it. All right, oh, cool.
Now I understand the concept of the pursuit and interceptor cars,
Yeah.
but
Mm-hmm.
he seems to be the only motorcyclist in the Maximum Force Police. So, I mean, is he the only motorcyclist, or is he just filling some particular niche?
Probably a niche. Like we have the pursuit, and I imagine, the motorcycle is revved up as well. But the point of the motorcycle is, it's very maneuverable. So he's probably there to get in between the moving cars. He could probably bring up a pistol and just shoot the driver as he drives up right next to him if he's good enough.
Fat Nancy's, that's a great place to eat.
I mean, if you're going to put it right there on top, yeah. This is Australia. That's 3 people. Okay.
Oh God! No, I've seen some videos. That whole area is really built up now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you wouldn't recognize it, but I imagine they still have little bitty 3 or 4 people towns.
Wait, isn't that George Miller?
Is it?
I don't. Maybe. I do know that like he hawked some. I think he hawked his house or whatever to get some money for the film, and part of that was to get this specific truck to purposely just trash. Same with the trailer coming up, I think.
He was a medical doctor in Sydney, working in a hospital emergency room, and what he saw there sort of inspired this film.
Really? I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, you're a doctor, but, I want to make some high octane Australia movies.
It's kind of, I would feel safe having a film director who also has emergency room experience.
Well, it comes in handy because it was also, isn't this the one where the stunt double got like paralyzed?
Ooh, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised though. I mean, this has the look and feel, and probably was a very low budget film. Oh lordy, you could not film this today. But the stunt work and driving, that's where a lot of the money I think went into in this film.
Ooh,
yeah, there's your money shot for the first part of the film.
A chunk. Welcome to Australia. Here's a Foster's.
Yes, Foster's. Put a shrimp on the body.
I'm glad how you're so concerned. Yeah, I wanted to tell you my hot take. I don't know if I told you about this theory yet, but it concerns more of the later films where Mad Max becomes more of a myth, right?
Yes.
I think this is like when mutants started to show up. I actually think Mad Max might be inadvertent immortal, or he just his aging is slowed down so much because of stuff that's just going on in the environment, because he lasts and lives for so long that he's become the myth and the legend. And it's the same guy because he has the same flashing flashbacks of things that happened previously.
You mean sort of like Michael Moorcock's Immortal Hero?
Yes, yeah, sure. Go Michael Moorcock. Woohoo. The unroadworthy.
Worthy.
Wait a minute. I don't think she's wearing a seatbelt.
Gasp! Oh, she'll do time for that.
She will. This is Australia.
He's really picking the wrong time to cuddle.
Yeah. Or the right time. I mean, you know.
Well, I got to look back and check. Did they manage to keep the same cars throughout the movie, or did they wear out several cars?
Considering the budget, I imagine it's the same cars. They just try and time the scene so that if it's just a scene of, you know, car drives left to right, they do that first.
He's lost his mojo. This is not the time to be losing your mojo.
No. What? Wait, why are we stopping? Oh, that would be why. Got it.
Well, we're
Holy
stopped
shit.
now.
And this was like, this had nothing to do with anything that was going on. This is just a turned over truck full of, what, toxic waste, I guess? God damn.
Look at that baby face. My God.
And it's the 70s, so we have the requisite saxophone music to show that he is tortured but still love his family.
Oh, you gotta love a woman who plays a saxophone.
No, you don't. You have to love a woman who plays a good instrument.
Oh dear.
Oh yes, I'm sure the legion of our saxophone playing fans will be sure to write us at lostpodcast@gmail.com and let us know how they do the woo with the saxophone.
Unsensitivity theater.
That's right. I wonder what like, you know, jail and prison is like in this current situation.
I imagine the odds of getting breakfast in bed are rather remote. Think of jails during this time period as similar to what jails are like now in Mexico. I mean, we might as well insult other countries besides Australia.
Actually, Mexican jails aren't so bad. I think it's the ones in Brazil that are the real hellholes. Also,
Oh, yeah.
like Thailand, maybe.
Thailand.
I don't know. There's like the series on Netflix about this guy who goes to the work. He was basically in prison for 20 years, and he actually was innocent. They proved it, right? So since he's the innocent guy, and he spent so long in actual prison, they hired him to do these documentaries where he goes to the worst prisons in the world to, you know, hang out for a week or so. And I'm like, oh Jesus, this is your life. So, but I mean, I just do not want to go to prison. Nope, never. Mm-mm.
Oh, you got my support for that.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. Play the saxophone some more.
Mm-hmm. Whoa, 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 whoa.
I hope that is not a. Would he be able to hold a real gun? 'Cause
Give
those
a
things are
shit if he
heavy.
could hold it or not. That's still not wise. Wait, was that just a few seconds of him holy shit. I wonder if that was supposed to be subliminal because we don't see the baby with the gun anymore. It's not brought up.
I did a check of that location where their house is, and yeah, that section of Australia is all built up now.
Yeah, it's kind of
Max
romantic.
Rockatansky, yeah, Family Man. There you go.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, places can be built up really quickly. Like when I was in Dallas, the area I was at was kind of like on the edge of development. But then over the course of the few years that we were there, everything just shot up instantly. And he already has a different motorcycle.
It might be his
Personal bike?
personal bike.
Uh,
I give him points for being able to ride a bike with a broken leg.
Hospital vouchers. Oh my god.
Is it me or do the bad guys have more personnel than the police in this movie?
That might be a point. Because one thing I do like about Miller is that he does a lot of showing and not telling.
Right, it's all up there on the screen.
Yeah.
He writes the leanest scripts in the business. The duck's guts.
So something happened because they can't get V8s.
Well, this is a V8 that also runs on nitro.
Well, the way they were talking about it, it was, that was secondary.
Well, apparently, yeah, there may be that V8 engines are not as available then as they were in the previous our time, which
Yeah. Yes.
What kind of policeman are you asking questions?
Really. I'm kind of curious what happened to America, because I imagine that's where the V8s would have come from.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Wait, I don't remember. He's a samurai?
He practices
kendo.
sword.
Kendo.
Yeah,
Okay.
And they're struggling to keep their officers on the road.
Well, that I gathered. Yeah.
Now, the first versions of Mad Max I saw back on TV, this scene was cut.
Really? What scene was this? Oh, this one right here? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Come on, you got to do it right. The Night Rider.
Rider. Who's a good boy?
Boy with candy. Oh, look, the milk bar.
Yes. Oh, a nice clean cut bunch of bikers showing up. That's right. The biker gang shows up. Let's make ourselves visible.
All right. Now let's put some clothing on, maybe?
Yeah, that could also help.
Yeah.
You want to make a good first impression.
I like how they're all neat and orderly to back up into the parking spot so that the road has room. Oh, they did get dressed. Okay.
A toe cutter.
What?
That's the toe cutter.
What? Not the toe cutter?
Yes, the toe cutter. On your shoes.
I was hoping it was the Knight Rider. He's merciful.
The Knight Rider stole a police car. You guys haven't done jack.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're bored, you're bored.
And if I was getting more cramped while riding on a motorcycle, yeah, I'd want to just do some strange things as well.
How can I help you, fine, upstanding pillars of the community?
We heard you had inflatable toys.
Hold up. The dude in the middle. He's familiar. Why is he
Let's see.
familiar?
Bubba Zanetti. Let me just. Jeff Perry. He was in Gallipoli. He was in not a whole lot. I don't know if mostly Australian films. Nice line.
If these are their friends, I'd be a bit more respectful.
Yes.
Like this isn't. I mean, I know this is Australia. Yeah. Huh. See, now you're beginning to be smart.
I think Hugh Keansburn got the role of the toe cutter because he has a very good sinister voice.
Yeah, but why'd they give him the name the Toe Cutter? They could have named him the Dick Chopper.
Would you?
I'd be more concerned.
If you were in an outlaw motorcycle gang, seriously, would you want to spend a lot of time following someone called the Dick Cutter?
The Dick Chopper. This is
The
Australia.
Dick Chopper.
I mean, it'd be more, intimidating to hang out with them rather than the Toe Cutter.
No, so hanging out with someone called the Dick Chopper is like being a newly promoted captain and assigned to Darth Vader's flagship. One slip and
I hear promotions are really, really fast and good on that thing. Yeah. Hang out. Let them make their message. You can live.
I mean, they got the coffin. What are they waiting for?
Oh,
they want to make a good impression with some of the other people in the town.
why were you hanging out with them? Jesus.
Well, if someone's taking the Knight Rider's name in vain. So now they decide to clear out.
Yeah.
I would have just kept parked somewhere and just fade quietly into the shadows for a few hours.
For that matter.
What, he's not taking the inflatable elephant? That would have been cool on the front of the motorcycle.
The string wasn't strong enough.
Oh, no worries. Oh. Don't involve yourself with the affairs of dragons. They're faster than you.
No, for your crunchy and you taste good with ketchup. So I'm sorry, but if they're hacking at me with implements of destruction, I would start, bashing them with the car.
Well, there's more of them than there are of him.
But he was mobile.
Not anymore. We are getting a good job of direction here in depicting how violent these people are. I mean, there's obviously no doubt that we are dealing with bad people here. People who have no respect for a fine piece of automobile.
Body, to be honest. I mean, look at that.
Well, it's art. Yes, we'll cut to the Raven rather than dwell on the rest of that particular scene. I have to keep the sensibilities of the audience
Of Australia in mind, yes.
Yes.
This isn't Stanley Kubrick in the theater.
No.
Wait, his last name is what? Rokachansky?
Rokotansky.
Oh. I just realized. I didn't even realize he had a last name.
See, now you're very hip in terms of fandom because I don't think most people recognize that Max had a last name. And that looks like a nice, cool motorcycle, but really, this is not the kind of landscape I would be just bebopping around at random on.
Yeah, also, we have nomads. Like, they have their own nomenclature.
Yes.
Like, I wouldn't be on the roads.
He's barely getting away.
Gobble, gobble.
Gosh, what happened here? A cyclecade, and the small town was Wee Jerusalem.
Wait. So, who's that guy?
That's Goose. His motorcycle, his patrol motorcycle, got kind of banged up, so he's riding with Max for a while.
No, I mean him.
That's Johnny the Boy. He was one of the bikers.
Uh,
He got a little wasted and decided to remain behind.
okay, got it.
The guy running bare butt across the landscape was the driver of that
Okay,
car.
see, Australians look all alike from a distance. So,
Okay. What, did you get a bad can of kangaroo meat recently or something? Or your system can't handle Foster's? Or
no, it's just like I love how some of my favorite YouTubers are actually all Australian. It's kind of amusing.
that's right. I don't think Australia has the Miranda rights. I think that's strictly an American institution.
They might have something similar.
So, we're arresting you. Shut up.
Miranda, right? Australia. So they do have something similar. It's not federal legislation, but they are obligated to advise you that your statements can be used as evidence. And if you are arrested, they have to charge you within a certain time period. So, not quite Miranda, but the concept.
We are going to teach him, Baba. He's the low-budget biker version of a James Bond villain.
Right now, he's not on a bike. He's just cuddling up with a coffin, which is, says wonders for his psyche.
Well, they have to transport the coffin. I don't see him riding his bike having to balance the coffin. And that was probably, I think, the only time we ever had a look at the city.
This is the police department.
I mean, before we saw the Hall of Justice, we saw these skyscrapers in the distance. And have you noticed there's no air traffic? The police don't have helicopters or anything like that. The situation has apparently deteriorated to where it's all ground traffic.
Jesus, kid. I'm surprised the gang didn't try and steal the car.
Why?
Well, oh, that's right. He had a saucer to the throat.
Yeah, his throat got cut up really bad. I had an uncle who suffered from tuberculosis. He lost the use of his vocal cords and had to use a machine like that to speak with. And I thought it was cool.
Oh, yeah. This, I kind of want to see what other Australia action movies came out around this time. Because I also have this. I want to one day make a project, so to speak, of watching movies from around the world of different genres, all on the same year, like to get a feel for what comedy and what horror was in a certain country, what action, what adventure was in another country, that sort of thing.
Let's see, 1970 Australian science fiction action films. Kind of a small list here. But that reminds me, when did Razorback come out? Razorback. That was a 1984 horror film. It was directed by Russell Mulcahy before he started doing the Highlander films. Have you ever seen Razorback?
It's familiar.
Think of it as Jaws on dry land and dealing with a giant feral pig instead of a shark.
Okay, not it.
If you're going to be saddled with a name like Fifi, you really got to be tough.
Well, I mean, yeah.
You got to go see Police Chief Fifi. No, not that!
But that, he's worse than the toe cutter. Ka-chunk. Yeah, so this is literally like the entire police force.
And I guess just anybody can walk into the parking lot. This was another scene I don't remember from my earlier watchings of Mad Max.
Yeah, why did they let him go? I must have missed that.
The lawyer got him off.
Like, the toe cutter
Yeah,
has a lawyer?
yeah. Real advanced motorcycle gang. Well, I imagine Hell's Angels in this country are so organized they now have lawyers.
Well, yes. But the Hells Angels have a bit touch more class than these skags.
Hey, you might want to repeat and mention that a bit louder in case we have Hell's Angels listening in.
I'm sure our Hells Angels, all of our Hells Angels listeners will agree. They have a touch more class than these skags.
And they can outdo these people 8 ways from Sunday. Yes, you don't have much of a beach party.
Bronze is the Bronze Stars, perhaps?
I think that has to be the only biker I have ever encountered who wears a necktie.
I mean, he has to have his own gimmick.
And besides being a dick,
Choppa. That's his name, the Dick Choppa.
oh my. I suspect that area of beach looks a lot neater and cleaner now than it did when they were making this film. And I'm trusting that the production crew cleaned up everything after they finished filming.
Of course.
And this scene here was definitely missing from, I think, when they started running Mad Max on television, because I did not see it in the theaters.
Those legs just go on for years. Wait, I think this is where he bites it. Spoiler, folks.
Oh. You mean he's not going to make it through the film?
Oh, his name is Goose.
Well, it's about to be cooked. Yeah. I should hope to kiss a frog.
Oh, okay. The bicycle. All right.
Yeah.
The bike. I mean, it's like, what the
His
fuck is
ride.
a licorice ride?
Well, I guess it's no accounting for taste. I wouldn't give up her day job if I were her.
No.
Well, what is your mother going to say? You sleeping with a bar singer? Tisk.
Yep, son. This is Australia.
Oh.
You bagged that filly yet? something Foster's, something shrimp on the Barbie. You know.
You nailed that Sheila yet?
There you go. That's it. That's it.
She's a good Sheila Bruce and not at all stuck up.
You should marry her. I wonder if there's a term for a married Sheila.
I'm really not up on my Aussie slang. Maybe they're all Sheilas, regardless of marital status. I do know that in Australia, the term rooting for someone is not the same as it is here in America, so you do have to be careful. He's awake now.
This would also be a cool crossover episode for Star Trek. Like, I don't recall them coming across a planet, on the verge of a hellscape.
Overrun by biker gangs.
Overrun by, like, a failed colony, because we know those exist.
Well, what was the Star Trek movie where Picard and Worf and they have to land on a planet that's sort of not as advanced as the Federation? They got these guys running around in armed vehicles, and they're the one that they're trying to pick up the fragments of the robot of the data type android, and they end up having to outrun these there's apparent wild gang that's trying to shoot them. Not quite the same thing. I would like to see George Miller do a Star Trek film.
Wait a minute, hold on. I'm trying to Star Trek TNG films. I think I know that. I just don't know the name.
Nemesis.
Insurrection?
No, Nemesis. Star Trek Nemesis.
Oh, Nemesis. But I really want to see the Quentin Tarantino Star Trek project.
I was wanting to see the Quentin Tarantino James Bond film. The soundtrack alone would have been classic.
No. I'd rather see the Star Trek one. Wait, did they just say cannibalism is prohibited?
Hold that thought.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What are you doing with my truck? Hey!
Oh, he's riding the bicycle, which...
Yes, because it's so safe on the road.
Yeah, it does strike me as an enormous act of courage. Maybe the toe cutter and his group think, hey, he's on a bike. Admittedly, it's not a motorcycle, so he could be one of us.
He could be one of us.
I mean,
toe cutter. I've heard of this legend. The man with the multicolored pike, he's the dick chopper. Gasp! The dick chopper! That was a really good shot. Holy fuck.
I know. I would have bet money he'd have missed.
For being, blasted out of his skull most of the movie.
It's not like he was going to have more than one chance.
Not a good way to go.
No. I don't think what he's smoking there is domestic.
It has to be domestic.
You got to make your bones, just like in the mafia.
Right.
And Goose is going, while you're having your argument, just don't mind me here.
Goose has a gun at his hip. Yeah, I was going to wait for him to park and then no parking. Because he's Mad Max.
Well, I think police are entitled to park in what's generally considered no parking areas, or go in there and tell Max he can't park.
We haven't even reached the lowest point of the hero yet.
No.
It's like, God damn. He's, alive and in perpetual agony. It's a plus. Dude, what are you doing? What are you doing?
He wants to stick the arm back in. And unfortunately, he gets more of a look than what he wanted. Now, consider Mel Gibson's acting here in what is essentially a very early role for him compared to his later films. How is he doing here in your estimation? Convincing?
He's Mel Gibson. I mean, somewhat. To be one moment. Sorry, I had to mute myself to cough for a minute. I believe Mel Gibson's brilliance isn't so much in his acting ability; it is in his ability to find a role that he'll become synonymous with. Like, he became synonymous with Mad Max. He became synonymous with Braveheart, the dude from 48 Hours, etc., etc. He finds those roles in those movies that do very well.
Like his version of Hamlet?
He did a version of Hamlet?
Yes, he did a version of Hamlet. He played the Hamlet.
Are you sure?
I am positive. I've sat through it.
I don't remember that.
Well, to be honest, not a whole heck of a lot of people do.
Are you sure this is like, the Star Trek series you tell me exists, but really don't exist? I can't find it.
No, he did play Hamlet.
It's like you said there was a sequel trilogy being made by Disney for Star Wars, but I can't find it. Hide nor hair.
I'm going to have to ask you about that later on. Let's see. Hamlet. This came out in 1990. Mel Gibson Hamlet.
Huh.
He also did The Passion of the Christ.
Oh, that I know. The Bible porn.
The Bounty. And he did The Year of Living Dangerously, which is an excellent movie.
Oh, that one was so good.
And also the World War I drama Gallipoli.
Can't all be winners. But yeah, the Year of Living Dangerously was so fun. Like, I barely knew what the movie was about. It just had what's her name?
Mel Gibson and Sigourney Weaver.
No, not those. The real star of the show.
Linda Hunt.
That's it. I was on a Linda Hunt binge, and so I came across Year of Living Dangerously and barely knew what it was like, the premise of it. But it was so damn good.
Yes, I could watch that film hundreds of times. And I may have.
You hang out in the office of the Hall of Justice, which is, a 2-star slum at best. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, Goose is cooked. Like, literally.
Now that's interesting. I wonder how many of the Toe Cutters gang had been police officers before.
Oh, shit. That's a thought I didn't realize.
It's that old Nietzsche saying: "You stare into you fight the dragon too long, you become one of them."
No, you stare into the abyss stares back into you, and look not into the eyes of monsters lest you become one. Yeah. Maybe that's where the majority of the bikes came from, is they were all part of the biker division of the police,
Oh,
which would explain their hard-on for Goose. Well, part of their hard-on for Goose.
oh, Goose.
That, when you're named the Dick Choppa, it's part of your thing.
Oh, Lord. Well, if this doesn't start those emails coming in, if I didn't have machine guns mounted on the roof,
Yeah, seriously, like,
I would not be driving around.
it isn't safe. We've already established this. Now, granted, it's not as bad as it is in the later movies, but, like, still.
Well, refinery they're still fairly close to civilization, I guess, or population as they call it here. But still, I mean, I would think that all things that had happened here, losing Goose and stuff like that, the last thing he would want to do and take his family would be
Road
out
trip.
and into the frontier.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you're in a George Miller movie. You don't get a lot of dialogue.
Yeah, also, I thought that was kind of understood. You'll have a kid that you love her. You would hope you love her.
And the kid can already handle a gun. And
Seriously.
she's his anchor. She's the only thing that's keeping him sane.
Still could have cut this scene. I mean, the action just kind of ground to a halt.
Well, you got to give people a breather. This is the point in the movie where it gives the audience a chance to go to the potty or get an extra thing of popcorn.
You don't need a breather. Like, I mean, hell, John Wick, like, as soon as they kill the dog, shit's on. That's it. Until the credits roll, it's, oh, shit.
It was just like The Hunt for Red October. I mean, that movie was over before I knew it. I thought, wow, that was fast.
Oh, that was a good movie. I don't think it fits in our wheelhouse though. It doesn't strike as a sci-fi film.
It's a techno thriller. I would include it. It's the tire he's asking about. Yeah, we're obviously dealing with an ethical salesman here. Somehow that doesn't sound too reassuring coming out of
Oh,
him.
Jesus, like, no, no, what are you doing? Your husband's a cop. He tells you what it's like. What do you do? Okay, I'm sorry. This
And that
Shayla's
real,
doffed.
in that real peaceful looking neighborhood.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't really want to tell the shop dealer all the details of your itinerary.
Exactly.
Oh, look, population. Oops.
I wonder if that's his real voice or if he's putting on an affectation.
If I was going to use dialogue like that, I'd put on an affectation. Ew. She's certainly not going to eat that now. Oh, yeah. That's going to gain you points. Is the kid back in the car?
Yeah, he was trying to be the gentleman and open the carrier in the back to put the kid in. Run over the bikes. Run over the
Run over the
bikes.
bikes.
And he's a dumbass. Yes. Oh, Lord God in heaven.
We'll learn to drive on 3 wheels. Get in.
Free tire. You don't know where you got it.
Speaking of which,
Please supply your own
own
tools.
tools. Yeah, I was just noticing
Wait,
that.
what?
If parts change.
Oh, okay. So if you just okay, all right, cool. They seriously have okay. They do. They have like a decal on their damn window.
Yeah, and a surfboard. Maybe we couldn't have fit in a surfing scene here.
Went on a road trip, bought a puppy, and went purposely into the wild frontier. Like Jesus Christ.
Someone gave us a hand. See, I'd be turning around and heading back home.
Yeah, seriously, what are you doing?
Because they're going to be looking for you.
Wait, fingerprinted? What are you talking about?
Okay, I'm asking myself, do they have fingerprints on the biker gang? Maybe.
Well, if they were all ex-police people, I would imagine so. This is where you're going to be safe. You had a beachfront property, motherfucker, and you came out here in the middle of nowhere where there's no cops.
You had a beachfront property, you had a saxophone.
A saxophone, yes. And a really mean Sheila.
That's right. Here's a real motorhead. She might.
She's done it before.
For a surprise, they only have the one kid.
Well, you know, they're working on it. It's part of the fun.
Oh, it's true.
Wait, so they're going to keep moving after this? Like, where the hell is he going?
Well, the lady, May, who lives in the house, apparently she's a relative of Jesse. But she's going down to the beach. But, you know, I would not. I'd stay a little closer to the home.
Why? Okay, I don't want to be the overly paranoid. Shit's gone to heaven, but shit's gone to hell. What are you doing? Like, we're still in the troubles, and even though things are somewhat calm, I'm not going to a fucking movie theater. No, fuck you.
We're not going to downtown San Francisco, or
Exactly.
and I sure as heck ain't trying to drive through Houston.
Exactly. No. Oh, yes, let's go into the deep woods where
How
no
far?
one can possibly see us.
How far away is that beach? A lot of people who don't live in Australia might be surprised to note that there are forests like that in Australia. They might think it's just all outback.
To be fair, the outback takes up a fair ass chunk of Australia.
Yeah, I mean, I always find it interesting that your major cities in Australia are, for the most part, on the coast.
Yeah.
Caption this: asking for trouble.
Like, what are you doing? You know where else there's sun? Next to the house.
You're going to have to walk back really far to get back to safety. Let's see what else she's done. Let's see here.
Oh, you mean the actress? I was like, well, clearly she's sunbathed.
Joanne.
I thought it was obvious. Still pissed off she lost her ice cream.
She played a magistrate in a movie from last year called Acute Misfortune. That's about a handful of films. Miller isn't the kind of person, apparently, to employ big name stars. And I know you're going to say, what big name stars could they possibly have in Australia? They have some.
They do
But
now.
but Miller is apparently not afraid to cast relative unknowns in major roles.
Are you sure it's that and that rather than he can't afford big names?
Possible. Let's see. Budget was, this is in Australian dollars. It varied from 350,000 to 400,000. But it made 100 million US dollars at the box office. Which
Inflation, or is that low? Is that like back then?
that was like back then.
Oh, damn!
I mean, the fact that he got this kind of movie for that, because that's really, some people might think $400,000 is a lot of money, but if you're making a movie, no,
That goes quick. Yeah.
Especially if you're going to bash up cars and stuff. Now, can you see that beach from on top of that hill? I sure can't.
Probably behind the trees to the left.
Oh.
Who the fuck is the dark one?
It might have been the guy they left a hand with earlier. That guy with the Stetson.
I mean, like, if you're gonna call yourself really badass names as cops, I have an option for you.
Famous last words.
Yeah.
Where's the kid?
Oh, she had polio.
Wait, who had polio?
May.
How can you? Oh, because I just, as many times I've seen this film now, and that's the first time I've noticed. Or maybe she's wearing those because she can't afford leather.
Well, then why isn't May wearing them?
Where is the kid? Oh, when you're in a blind panic, I guess little details like where your child is sort of slip your mind.
Also, you left the kid with no one watching the kid. I'm sorry, but
Well, at the time Max was working on the car near the kid. But now Max had run off with oops. Well, we gave it to a sheriff. You'll have to go speak to him.
you'll have to claim it with the sheriff.
Well, you're not very funny.
Yeah.
Wait, was that someone? Oh, he's alive. Okay. For a moment, I thought there was someone nailed to the top of the barn. Don't turn.
Obviously. Flatten the tires of their bikes. They have to be nearby. Also, it's very obvious that they either don't have guns or only that one dude has a gun.
If I was going to be living where May is living, out in the country like that, I'd have a small arsenal.
Exactly. Especially if it's a hellscape.
Oh,
That's not good.
Max didn't finish fixing the car.
No, they sabotaged the car. Did you see like
Oh,
the piece of metal in the front radiator grill?
okay.
Yeah. See,
You would have thought you would have hit at least one of them.
that would have been nice.
It would have been nice, yeah. Would have been an act of kindness. Now, this is clever. Miller could have shown, a lesser director would have actually shown the collision, but this way, your imagination is making it worse than it probably is.
Honest, I don't think they might not even be allowed.
True.
Like I can't even think of any movie where a young child or a baby is graphically harmed on screen.
Yeah.
Like hell, even the Pet Cemetery. Uh, it's the cutaway. Thus, we see the storm of Mad Max's psyche.
Well, we're going to get a better look at it in just a moment. I mean, that expression.
Yep.
He just lost, his anchor.
Yeah, okay. Here would have been a thought. So let's say the wife actually was in very critical condition, but the wife survived, or maybe the kids survived, but they didn't realize it yet. They thought it was DOA, but they were able to resuscitate it, etc., etc. So Mad Max goes on the crazy revenge spree during all this, where things finally come to a head. The humanity tips over. We're now in the wastelands, but his wife and kid are actually still alive, but he doesn't know it out in the wasteland.
I just want to say real quick, I love that scene when he's walking into the dark garage and then coming out in the interceptor. One of my
Yeah.
favorite scenes from the movie. But That's an interesting theory.
Well, it's not a theory. It's just a what if. Yeah. Right in the next room.
That would have been horrible. That would have been.
And the credits start to roll. Da, 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 da.
You have an evil frame of mind. You know that.
It's the world I live in. Also, the gang is kind of like either splitting up or because it's not nearly as big as it was when they were riding into town.
I think some of them go on little expeditions of their own. Like, for instance, that may have been one group, and here we have another group here that are about to go into action.
Jesus Christ.
Now, you would think in this sort of time and situation, they would have alarms that the driver could tell whether he's being siphoned.
I think the driver can tell. He just doesn't care. He's not paid enough to deal with it.
Yeah, that's another good point. He could have stopped and, you guys need help?
Yeah.
And also, you weren't wanting to have the entire gang together because here Miller wants to pick them off. Miller wants the gang members to be picked off one by Max.
Oh, look at that. He's fucking up the bikes with his car. With his much larger, heavier car. You dumbasses.
What a revelation.
Well,
what
yes.
A
no wonder he's the best of the best. He's like, wait a minute. I'm driving 2,500 pounds of steel with a V8, the last of its kind. Sucks nitro, blah, 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 blah. My name's no longer Mad Max. My name's the Dick Chopper. Damn. Nope. Oh, that's real. Oh, that's real. Oh. Ow. Oh. That's why you wear a helmet. That's another thing I appreciate. All these hooligans, criminals, hardened killers, they're all wearing their helmets.
Yes. Most of the biker gang extras were members of actual Australian outlaw motorcycle clubs and rode their own motorcycles in the film.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were even forced to ride the motorcycles from their residence in Sydney to shooting locations in Melbourne because the budget did not allow for transport. Trying to see if Miller did a whole. Are you familiar with the term guerrilla filmmaking?
Yeah, it's where you don't have legal authority to film in certain areas, so you just say fuck it and you film it anyway and hope you don't get shut down before you get the shot.
Well, that's what Miller did quite a bit in the making of this movie. Which,
I mean, it's Australia. It's not going to be an Australian film unless it's guerrilla filmmaking. I mean, Crocodile Dundee was a bloodbath.
Little sign on the back of the truck says, "As a matter of fact, I do own the road."
Yeah, you done fucked up.
But I always admire guerrilla filmmakers who get away with it.
Yes, we have actual signs going "Stop Prohibited Area." So Code 3 is when a cop goes rogue, I guess. Yeah, I actually am kind of disappointed that the Interceptor got wasted in the last Mad Max film. Spoilers, but you know. Oh, you still with me, Papa? Oh no! Did I lose him? Yep. Well, ladies and gentlemen, looks like lost my co-host here. Hold on. See if I can just get him back. Wait, are you back?
Yes, am I back now?
There you go. Hey, Papa.
Hey,
Welcome back. Are you still able to see the stream?
yes, just a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it back in time just to hear the toe cutter hiss at Max.
Anyway, I was saying earlier, is disappointing that the Interceptor actually got wasted in the last Mad Max film.
Yes, because the cars became as much characters as the actors in this film.
Yeah. Also, he would be bleeding a lot more, just to, be perfectly honest.
Well, I was wondering, you got shot in the knee. Do you bleed a lot from knee shots? Here I'm demonstrating my total innocence.
As a would-be once medical professional, I can assure you, if you're shot anywhere, it bleeds a lot.
I find it interesting that he's actually bothering to use his siren.
He wants them to know that he's on their trail. It's psychological, because the siren's going to get louder the closer he gets.
Have you ever seen it was a fairly recent movie about the Red Baron?
No, I don't think so.
He painted his.
Oh wait, is that the one with the dog?
No,
Okay.
this is the one about the original World War I German ace. He painted. There's a great scene where he's painting his airplane red from front to back, and his fellow pilots are saying, they'll see you coming, and he says something like, "I want them to see me coming."
Oh, I'll have to check that out. What the?
Oh, ooh,
That's not good.
no, it's not good. I find it interesting that they actually found the wherewithal, for some reason, to remove his goggles before the crash.
Well, I mean, sometimes you want to give death a kiss before he takes you.
Oh, oh, That's poetic. I like that.
I'm actually wondering because I think we're almost. Yeah, we're getting close to the holy shit.
Close to the
He
holy
does.
shit.
He does not fucking waste any goddamn time. Oh my god.
No.
Okay, but anyway. What was I going to say? Da 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 da. Oh yeah. So I think we're almost done with the movie. I think maybe the scene I'm thinking about where the stunt double, not the stunt double, but the stunt man, got horrifically injured, is actually in some of the other films. Because I remember the shot. It's he basically tumbles end over end over a pit, I think. But yeah, we'll find out in a few minutes, I guess.
You might be confusing it with another film.
No, it was definitely a Mad Max film. I'll dig it up in the post episode discussion.
That's a considerable amount of trouble just to get a different pair of boots.
Well, it's Australia.
Oh. I'm going to be writing a lot of apology cards.
If I have upset any of our rabid Australian fans, I do sincerely apologize and invite you to tell me off, to slag me off at lostpodcastoftitan@gmail.com.
A crybaby. This is going to turn out to. This is one of the really most cold ass scenes in a movie.
Yeah, and it's justified too.
It's I put it up there along with who's the name of the guy that got shot in the back of the head in The Godfather? You know what I'm talking about? They have to take him out.
He was the chauffeur of
Yeah, he fingered.
leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah.
Right, now that was cold.
That wasn't really so much cold as more of, well, that just needs to be done.
Well, you probably don't want to know what he's doing. Ugh. And once again, I give Miller points for not lingering on the scene, but we have Max driving away, and then
there's an explosion, right?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
That was probably a guerrilla explosion too. I'll bet they didn't ask for anyone's permission to set off that explosion.
It's not. It's Australia. You only ask for permission if you want to get caught.
Which it's Australia, which we love like our own birth country. It's Australia's like
Australia. And that was it. Oh my god, that actually went by amazingly fast. Wait, what the fuck is this? Oh,
that's the next. You're gonna get the trailer in about.
Screw you, Netflix. I don't give a goddamn shit.
Oh dear. You
okay, all right. What? We're not watching Code 8.
Actually, we love Netflix too.
No, we don't. I pay Netflix. Netflix can handle my upset because we were mentioning about this earlier. We couldn't narrow down movies by year. Like, what kind of bullshit is this? Okay, stuntman injured Mad
Mad
Max
Max film.
films. Let me see. Da, 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 da. Oh, here we go. What's this? Da, da, da. No, 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 no. Wait, what? Oh, a stunt woman bounced off a pillar and onto concrete in Back to the Future Part 2. Ah, fuck.
Ouch.
Uh, oh, yeah, and Amelia Jovovich's stunt double had her arm amputated from Resident Evil, the final chapter.
Oh.
Holy shit. Jason Robards' stunt double was dragged to death by his horse in Comes a Horseman. Jesus.
And then there was the person who was killed during the filming of the Twilight Zone, the movie.
People. I think that movie was cursed, to be perfectly honest. A stuntman was killed in a motorcycle crash in Mad Max. The crash can be seen on film. Is motorcycle. Okay. So stuntman killed Mad Max motorcycle crash, because that was just a random comment on the internet.
Yes,
wait.
on this podcast,
Here we go.
You get the body count too.
Oh, you're fucking kidding me.
Probably not.
Oh no. Remember when Mad Max was first going on and he was like running over the bikers, and one of them like was on the bridge, tripped and fell, and the bike hit him in the back of the head?
Ooh.
That was that dude's dead.
Ooh.
Wait, was it? Okay. Wait, no. Oh, the rumor was he was killed, but he actually he flipped over with it, so he took the momentum of it. All right, so okay. Stuntman injured. Mad Max crash. Maybe not killed, but injured.
Oh,
There
while we're waiting, movie was filmed in 6 weeks.
Yeah, well, you know.
Go ahead and say it.
Oh, here we go. Oh, it's the Road Warrior. It was the Road Warrior. Injury.
Which didn't have the toe cutter in it.
No, it did not have the Knight Rider either.
Oh.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, well, it's no big deal. We'll probably get to it eventually if we go through the other Mad Max films. But so, like, what did you think of the actual origin of the Mad Max films and what they actually became later on?
I liked Fury Road, but I don't like it as much as I like the earlier films.
You see, I like actually Fury Road much better than I like the other films.
Well, I like this particular film, the first film. It's gritty.
Yeah.
It had a more real feel. I'm not faulting what Miller did with Fury Road. I remember when you and I saw it, and I was still very much impressed by it. But I don't like the fact that as the franchise went on, for reasons, I don't know, I'm not reading Miller's mind right now, but Miller kind of worked his way away from the edgier aspects, the hungry young filmmaker on his first effort. A comparison, I'll say as another example, look at Quentin Tarantino. The Reservoir Dogs. That was a very edgy, raw production, and I happen to like it. His
Those
later
were
film,
those were the productions that didn't have studio backing.
that's right, didn't have major studio backing, major budgets, and stuff like that. I like Tarantino's later films, but they're more polished, and I, want that original edgy, not cheap, but just bare bones filmmaking, a lot of guerrilla filmmaking and stuff like that. I think in especially with genre films, you end up with better films that way. Sometimes not. I mean, unfortunately, sometimes you end up, especially with science fiction and horror during the 50s, with very cheap effects, which don't really help the overall production a great deal. But sometimes you could make it work. Have you ever seen a film entitled, it's one of my favorites, The Day the Earth Caught Fire?
Let me check. I might not recognize the title here. Day the Earth Caught Fire. Does it have a handsome young scientist and a beautiful young woman?
Well, it has a beautiful young woman, but instead of a handsome young scientist, it has a handsome young newspaper reporter. It was made in 1960 by Val Guest, and it is a low-budget disaster film, which actually worked. And the reason it worked is because most of the action was focused around a newsroom in a London newspaper during this incredible apocalyptic disaster that was going on. I mean, Val Guest wisely knew that he did not have much of a budget for special effects, so he sort of kept the special effects. What he managed, he kept them on a back burner. You get a few pictures, stock footage of forest fires and fog, and he concentrated on what was happening with the major characters as they were trying to follow this particular disaster in the course of putting out newspapers. I would highly recommend it to anyone. That's The Day the Earth Caught Fire, starring Edward Judd, Leo McKern, Janet Monroe, directed by
I wonder
Val
if that's
Guest.
on Netflix. Hold on. The Day the Earth Caught Fire.
Probably not.
No. All right, let's go to Prime Video. Let's see. The Day the Earth Caught Fire. God, they want $4 just to rent it. Like, come on.
I know
That is like $1 to buy it, and my money's on the table. What the fuck are you doing? I want to see the stats. Like, how many people are actually renting The Day the Earth Caught Fire? I doubt very many.
I've got it on DVD because I fell in love with the film practically from day one.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, from what you said, it sounds like it's. So the problem I have with Godzilla films, and I'm coming back to this, ladies and gentlemen, the problem I have with Godzilla films is that, especially as of late in America, they pretend that we give a shit about the people. We don't give a shit about the people. We came to see Godzilla stomp ass.
The monster.
The monster. Not like the group of young, handsome military soldiers walking in awe through the destruction and devastation. But in here, we have the opposite, where it's, the monster in question is the fact that the Earth is catching fire, but we're focusing on the people, the newspaper people, and you say that works. And I'm actually now kind of wondering, and I'm also kind of curious, maybe I actually do want to see a Godzilla film from the perspective of like the newspaper people who are covering it.
Well, what about,
Like,
I know this is kind of a stretch, but what about Cloverfield? Where you see the monster film from the perspective of some, in my opinion, absolute losers wandering around New York City.
well, part of the problem with Cloverfield is that it gave us J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot Productions, which was
Yeah.
which was hell in and of itself, which can also
Pestilence.
yes. And there was this rumor that he was put in charge of making the Star Wars sequel trilogy with Disney, but thank God that never actually came to pass.
Oh.
But no, the Cloverfield Cloverfield is a shit movie. I'm sorry. If you disagree, feel free to tell me why I'm wrong at lostpodcasttitan@gmail.com. It's a shit movie, and if you enjoy it, I am glad you enjoy it. I like that you enjoy it, but it's horrible.
I
It's a concept film of, I'm going to be avant-garde and I'm going to shoot this film on somebody's fucking camcorder and be all cute and not and just tease the whole monster aspect, and also give my audience a headache because you're filming it through 2.5 hours of camcorder footage. It's a shit movie. Now, the better movie, the much superior movie, was 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is goddamn awesome.
which I
Have
have
you
not
ever?
seen yet, but I'll make a point of tuning it
Oh
in.
no, 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 no! Hold on. If you haven't seen that, I actually want to see that with you. Hold on. 10 Cloverfield Lane. Do we have that? Okay, it's not on Netflix because of course it's not. How about 10
Amazon's going to ask
Cloverfield?
for $42 to rent. Or
It is not there. Oh my god. H. Where is 10 Cloverfield Lane streaming? Are you even familiar with the premise?
vaguely, it's
Okay.
another sort of a. It's not another lost footage film, is it?
No, and it actually okay, where are we going? Here we go. Prime Video feature. Okay. iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, Microsoft. Can I have more options? No? Huh. I can watch it on IMDb TV with advertising. No, fuck no. Maybe I actually have it on DVD, and maybe I can stream it from my DVD player. But well, yeah. But it so the reason why I think 10 Cloverfield Lane actually works is because the origin of 10 Cloverfield Lane was its own individual thing that got absorbed into the quote unquote Cloverfield universe. And it didn't overpower the film. And the ending is a little bit wonky because they're trying to kind of like, put it in. But the movie up to that point was actually pretty damn good. I liked it. Oh,
Well,
okay, there you are.
no, no. Well, your recommendations are usually good enough for me.
Oh, okay.
I,
Let's
but I was
see.
going to say, no, nobody go the classic Godzilla films.
Yes, uh-huh.
No one has. I don't think anyone goes to the Godzilla movies, like you said, to see the characters and such. The acting is really not a lot of them not the greatest
Right.
in the world. In fact, I've watched a few of them. I've been watching them when they come on, and I'm amazed at myself that I actually sort of went out of my way to see them. The first one I ever saw was Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, and it just does not age as well as I thought it would. The,
And like no one gives a shit about the aliens from the future, trying to control the people from the past, and they use another monster and it fails horribly, and no one gives a shit about the tiny Japanese women from Hawaii singing the lullaby to to
oh,
awaken
come
Mothra.
on!
No, no,
That's cute.
no one goes, that's my jam. There's no remix of the Moth. Actually, wait, hold on. Let me go to YouTube. Wait 1 second. Hold on. Mothra song remix. Mothra song remix.
Might have to look up.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Does it bang? Is it good? Hold on. 1 second.
They have a big fan following all their own. You had to have them in order to have Mothra.
No, you didn't. We've lost the two young Japanese women from Hawaii who can sing to, bring about Mothra. But luckily, we have a recording that we've adjusted so that only Mothra can hear it. Play the tape, gentlemen. Oh, there's a metal version of it? Hold on.
Oh dear.
Okay, the metal one is actually pretty good, but still unnecessary. Oh
Well,
Lord.
they needed essentially to translate between Mothra and the human population because Mothra was obviously not built to speak to people. None of the monsters really were, but uh,
You just have a wise person look at it. Doesn't even have to be a man or a woman. Just look at the
well,
Godzilla and go, he is defending his homeland, and that's it. Like that's all you need, and then have Godzilla stomp shit. This is it.
I
And
should
then go ahead.
no. Admittedly, my favorite Japanese, not necessarily monster movies, are the ones that really didn't depend on monsters. Atragon, the Mysterians, Battle in Outer Space, the more science fiction oriented films. I
Like
do,
Atragon, the giant battleship with the drill in front that was going to
yes.
save Japan from World War II.
Well, unfortunately,
Let me repeat: the giant battleship with the drill in front that is somehow going to save Japan from World War II.
as it was an undersea battleship,
Oh
not
my
just a missile.
God!
It could
No,
fly. It had a
oh, it could
freeze gun.
fly. You know? Oh
It had a
no!
freeze gun in front.
I'm glad it had a freeze gun in front. It also had a giant drill. It was also a giant target.
Well, the drill was also sort of serving as the propeller for Atragon. I can't believe we're having this discussion.
You know where the
How
drill would
did
have been better placed? In the back.
yes, but they also wanted Atragon to be able to bore beneath the earth if necessary.
Uh,
See, people, when you listen to our podcast, you're all over the landscape.
yeah, Mad Max, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, how about that, Mad Max?
How about that Mad Max? You know what Mad Max didn't need? Actually,
A drill on the front.
actually, now that I think about it, a drill in the front would actually be pretty handy, considering he was going after motorcycles.
Oh,
Anyway, I guess we'll call it here.
okay. Yeah, the only thing I was going to add was that
Yeah.
Mad Max was one of the films that inspired Steve Jackson Games to come out with a nice little entry, Car Wars, which was dedicated not only to Mad Max but to all the James Bond films where drives around super armed vehicles and such like that. So it cast a very long shadow. Also, they have attempted, you might have noted, America to make their own versions, but none of the Death Race 2000, I think, might have been the closest.
Car Wars, a sixth edition was kickstarted in 2019. Let me check it out. Car
Really, I've
Wars Kickstarter. Here we
still
go.
got
By
my
Steve
original
Jackson
copy.
Games. Did we go? Holy shit. Holy shit. So all they asked for was $80,000 to just be able to devote to developing the game and the materials and all that shit.
Mhm.
And about 4,000 people backed it. They have about $650,000.
Still got my copy of the original edition somewhere.
Mm.
All right, final question,
Yeah.
bringing it all back home. We had a discussion before we decided to do this film about
Mm.
post-apocalyptic cinema. Do you consider the Mad Max, especially the first film? I mean, it's obviously not a post-nuclear war apocalypse.
Right.
Once again, it's a society on the verge of collapse,
Yeah.
which I would consider post-apocalyptic.
Well, no, because this is in the slow grind, in my opinion. The post-apocalypse means the apocalypse has already happened. I think by the second movie, we're already firmly entrenched into the post-apocalypse, and I would say like it's probably 10, 15 years after this movie. just by the
Okay.
way everything seems to be looking. But it's one of those movies. I wonder if that's something I can Google. Movies that take place during the apocalypse. Let's see. List of apocalyptic films. Here we go. The Time Machine? No, it doesn't really.
Yes. When they after the apocalypse, when the Morlock and the Eloi.
Oh no, I'm talking about like during the apocalypse.
Well, there was a scene when the time traveler arrives in London. I presume
I,
we're
I,
talking
I like
about
the one where like the majority of the film takes place as things are falling down. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything so far.
well, apocalyptic films. You've got things like When Worlds Collide or The Day After Tomorrow. Is that what you're thinking of?
Well, when worlds collide, it's things are okay until the world, actually collide. I'm talking about it. So, if for this to count, when worlds collide, the movie would start with the worlds actually colliding, and then somehow whatever is. Oh, here we go. War of the Worlds would be like during the apocalypse, even though it does have a good ending, air quotes. If it didn't have that good ending, that would be my interpretation of apocalyptic film, because the movie starts with the Martians landing and they're just slowly, methodically wiping everyone out.
All right, there's a 1984 British movie you need to watch called Threads, directed by Mick Jackson.
That's the one where I know that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's on the top of my list of films like you described. That about the grimmest example of the apocalypse that I've ever come across. In fact, a lot of my favorite apocalyptic films are British. We've got Peter Watkins' The War Game, Jimmy Murakami's When the Wind Blows. Have you ever
Here's
seen
the
that?
questions. Yes. But uh, I imagine we're eventually going to watch Blade Runner.
Yes.
The question is, which version of Blade Runner are we going to watch?
Oh, you're talking about, like, say, we have a choice between the one with the narration and the one without the narration.
Yeah, because I kind of prefer the one without the narration, to be honest.
Frankly, I do too.
Yeah.
And the narration was kind of a crutch, which took away something from the film.
It did.
I like it
Unfortunately.
when the audience. Not everything should be explained to an audience. I like it when the audience has to play catch up. You don't have in too many bad science fiction films. You always have the scene where the scientist pauses and has to explain to reporters or the girlfriend or something what's going on and why.
Yeah, exactly. But we will save that for another time, I think.
That's right.
All right. So I hope you all enjoyed, especially our Australian listeners.
Oh, they had a rocking good time, I'm sure.
I had a rocking good time. I hope they cuddled up with their Sheila and watched the movie with us. And we will see y'all next time.
Take care.